Can start now. We're live.
Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Untitled Chapter, and today we will be I'll be giving a presentation on the topic, the overview of Google Cloud Platform. And I will be sharing my screen, so the presentation will be much more passed. So let me share my screen, please. I hope everyone can see my screen. Hello.
Yes, you can see us.
All right, thank you very much. So the topic of discussion is an overview of Google Cloud Platform. And as I introduced earlier, my name is Untitled Chapter. Let's see what we have in the table of content. We have first the definition of what cloud computing is, and what is Google Cloud Platform, otherwise called or referred to as GCP, and the services that are rendered by Google Cloud Platform, which includes the computing aspects, the storage aspect, the database aspect, networking, operations, developers tools, and data analytics. Without taking much of the time, let's go ahead to the first thing we have on the table of contents, which is cloud computing. By definition, cloud computing is said to be the on-demand availability of system resources, especially data storage, computing power without direct payment of the user. And by this definition, it will be deduced that what cloud computing is just to make us understand the fact that whatever thing we have as a physical computer or physical infrastructures in the aspect of computing or IT, we have them in the cloud. The definition is talking about computer power. Okay, you have a server physically in which you power every time. They are trying to tell you you can have a server in the cloud and it will be powered every time, up every time. We have a data storage. You have a hard drive on your devices, on your server, or your desktop, and all, which is where you store files. Okay, they are telling you all of this is also available in the cloud. And when they say in the cloud, so many people get it wrong and think, okay, maybe it's a cloud virus everywhere. It's just something to use as a term. It's not really like you store it in the sky or something like that. It's just trying to say, from the second definition is that it's a service that is made rendered available for you anywhere you are at any time over the internet. That should be noted, that because everything that it's having to do with the cloud, you get them from, you use the internet to access them. It can't work without the internet. So, and the cloud computing renders so many, give us so many benefits like universal connectivity, open access, reliability, security, privacy, sustainability, and many, so many. And now we'll be moving ahead to the discussion of the day mainly, because we can't talk about what Google Cloud Platform is without talking about what cloud computing is, because Google Cloud Platform is one of the service providers of cloud computing. Of course, there are many service providers, but today our focus will be on the Google Cloud Platform. And Google Cloud Platform is a suite of cloud computing service that run on the same infrastructures that Google uses for their internal for its end user products. And what I'm saying is that Google Cloud Platform render you a service to say, okay, come and have these cloud computing services on the same infrastructure that we are using for Google search, for Google Gmail, for file storage and YouTube, and so many other services that Google run. So that is to tell you that whatever service you are subscribing for on Google Cloud Platform is being run on the same infrastructure that Google is using for their own services. And if it's what they are using for their own services, you know you will get the best, because we know how efficient those services that Google are providing now. And since 2008, that Google has announced the App Engine, which is a platform for developing and hosting web application. And it was the first cloud computing service from the company. And in 2011, the service became generally available in 2011. Since the announcement of the App Engine, Google added multiple cloud services to the platform, which also include the Google Cloud Platform. So we'll be diving in some of those services that are included in the services Google Cloud Platform are rendering us. And on the aspect of computing, we have the Google Compute Engine. I think I skipped something when I was explaining what cloud computing is. The services rendered in cloud computing can be categorized or grouped into three, which include infrastructure as a service, software as a service, and platform as a service. And the infrastructure as a service is where they render you some those infrastructures that usually we have physically, but this time we have them in the cloud. That's the CPU, the operating system, and so many more like that. Then you have them in the cloud. And this Google Compute Engine is the infrastructure as a service component of the Google Cloud Platform, which, like I explained, is using the same infrastructure as the Google Engine, Gmail, YouTube, and the likes. And the service tool, the service provides tools that helps to bring your existing applications to the cloud. And the Google Compute Engine is the most often used because by companies of, let's say, 10 to 50 employees, because it's going to save their costs, it's going to save a lot of things. Like I was giving an example, take an example of having all of this compute infrastructure physically. In order to set up a server in your own company, you need a constant power, you need to get the server itself, the storage space, and all of that. And the time it will take and to pull all those resources together, you can just get them in the cloud within minutes. And it's as easy as that. And Google is also, the GCE is a very example of this infrastructure as a service that Google provides. And of course, there are other cloud providing services that does this. Example is the Amazon and Amazon EC2, the Azure, and many more. But in this case, talking about the GCP, and they provide you the opportunity to choose the operating system you want, the amount of CPU you want, the amount of storage you want, and all of that. That is a little brief explanation about the compute service that Google Cloud Platform is rendering. We move ahead to the storage service that is being rendered by Google. Here we talk about the Google Cloud Storage. It's said to be a RESTful online file storage web service for storing and accessing data on the Google Cloud Platform infrastructure. And the service combines the performance and scalability of Google Cloud with advanced security and sharing capabilities. We all know how important it is to keep our data. We all know how important it is to have storage. And what people is able clamoring for these days is always want to get enough storage for our files, applications, and all of it. Now, how it could be when you actually have something in your storage. Take, for an example, a physical storage now. Let's say your flash disk or your hard drive, and you have it saved, you have a particular file saved on it, and which will be needed for a particular presentation or something. And as human that we are, you get to forget the flash disk at home, and you are the place you'll be presenting. It could be so frustrating at that moment. But if such a file is kept in the cloud storage, It could be easily accessible and without any worries. Those are one of the advantages of this cloud storage that we have. Like I said, you can access anything on it just over the internet, anywhere you are in the part of the world. So, and Google is also providing this service for us. And this service is also a part of infrastructure as a service and has proven to be very resourceful to the enterprise, as this makes it to keep resources safe without worries. So the next service we have that GCP provides is on the aspect of networking, and where we have the Google networking resource that helps to manage network firewalls, domain names, and other aspects of your network and instances. Of course, we know, just like I was explaining earlier, when you set up a physical infrastructure in your company, you get to do some networking activities too. So we have it in the cloud, and we get to do some networking activities in the cloud also, as you have firewalls on our physical servers and desktops and all of that. So we have it on the cloud infrastructures. So the example of the features of this networking aspect of GCP includes the cloud VPN that allows you to connect to virtual private cloud network from your existing network, such as your on-premises network and another VPC network or another cloud provider's network. And also we have something called the cloud load balancing, which provides scaling, the high availability, the traffic management for your internet-facing and private applications. So to mention a few, of course, there are a lot more. To mention a few, those are some of those services that are being done by GCP on the aspect of networking. So we move ahead to talk about operations. Yes, operations is very important in any organization, and Google Cloud Operations is a service in the Google Cloud Platform. It is formerly known as a Stack driver, and is an excellent platform to monitor, to troubleshoot, improve application performance on the Google Cloud environment. And this provides a great monitoring, logging, debugging, tracing, profiling, and error reporting abilities all at one place. You can get all of those things being done all on this Google Cloud Platform by this operation aspect. You can get to do your platform monitoring, your troubleshooting, and you can get to improve your application performance with this service that has been rendered by Google Cloud Platform. And of course, you will have noticed for every of those services, their specialized logo for all of them, just for identification, because when you get to log on their portal, there are so many services there just for identification and to know the particular one you are looking for. And that. So moving ahead, for the developers in the house, of course, Google Cloud Platform has something for you, and that's the Google Cloud Developers Tool, which is a service that gives developers and deployment teams to be able to tools that will enable them to be productive when writing, when deploying and debugging application hosted in the Google Cloud. And the tools they include the Google Build, which is a service that executes your builds on Google Cloud Platform infrastructure. And Google Cloud can import source code from the cloud storage, that's like an advantage, and for the cloud source repositories from GitHub, from Bitbucket, execute a build to your specification and produce artifacts such as Docker containers and Java archives. This service provided by GCP, for the developers in the house, like this aspect of a platform as a service where developers can be able to write their codes, deploy them and debug them easily without having to go through much of stress if it were to be done in the ways that we used to do it before, the physical servers and all of that. And on the last note, we have data analytics, which is also another service from the GCP. that covers, we know how important data are to us, keeping data, analyzing data, and presenting them. We know how important that is. And this aspect offers a wide range of analytics tools, all built with unique capabilities for data analytics and management. And Google artificial intelligence and also machine learning solutions. And you know how this can be integrated in existing tools to provide real-time intelligence. And in the past, we know it used to be storing all these often created dreaded data swamps, and which were quite difficult to analyze. Then our old ways of analyzing data. But with this, modern big data architectures let organizations to store massive amounts of data uh, in the cloud, and they are easily being pulled and being analyzed. So to mention a few, all I've said so far, those are some of the services that GCP rendered, and of course there are many more that they rendered. So I think with this, to have get you familiarized with another cloud provider service that we have. Of course, like I said, it's not only just Google Cloud platform that we have. We have Amazon cloud computing also. But with this, I know 1 or 2 weeks you'll have gotten yourself familiarized with Google Cloud platform. So I don't know if there will be any question from the audience. Hello, is everybody there?
Anybody have a question? Hello. Okay. Rubu, you can just ask a question. Go ahead and ask a question. So you still have more time because the other person is not ready.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I don't know. So far, like I've said, do anybody still think these services, the way cloud computing is, and the services that are being rendered by cloud providers? Who can tell me how one of the advantages that you feel all of this could bring to the table? Maybe what aspect of cloud computing that you as a person has been using, and how it has been of helpful resources to you. Who will want to share their own view about it? Has anybody used any services from Google, from GCP, and share your experience? Yeah, view. Anybody can volunteer to speak up. Jacob, you want to say something?
Okay, Jibre, I've made use of the compute engine in the past through their free tier. They have a 1-year free tier, and the compute engine from the infrastructure just from the cloud, because the compute engine is more or less like as our CPU desktop, the box itself. That is more or less like the compute engine, the CPU itself. When I used it that time, I was able to allocate some of the resources from the CPU, from the Google Compute Engine. Resources like memory, OS. In that case, the OS, it is regarded as image in the Google Computer Engine platform. You can think of different. The Ubuntu is there, the Linux is there, the Windows is there. You can select any image that you want and pick the memory that you want, and do your compute and do your work, the work you want to do. And after that, you still leave it in the cloud. And the beauty of it is that you pay according to the money that you have, according to the resources that you have. You don't have to. You don't have to invest too much before you'll be able to have access to these resources. That's just the benefit I see in it. Because if you want to pull a lot of infrastructure to your office and put it there and begin to use on your house and all that, you discover that the common man and even some small startups may not be able to afford it. But with this cloud computing, the benefit is that it gives even startups and some of us individuals as well be able to afford some of these resources and servers that even big organizations can't even afford some years ago. So that is just the benefit I see in this cloud computing. So it makes it's not like paying bit by bit, pay as you go, something like that. You don't have to invest too much, but when you can use, you just make use of the resources, the memories, the CPU, and all that, and that will just be fine for you. So that is the advantage, very good advantage I see in this cloud computing, and especially the GCP, the way they handled it. Though some people used to have the notion that the cloud computing, that you are putting all your resources in another person's system. That is some wrong notion people have. Truly, it's system, but there is terms and conditions, there's privacy, there's security, and all that. So it's not a risk per se, from my own view, and truly from what it is. So that is the advantage I've seen and benefit also.
Well, Jacob, thank you very much for sharing that. It is just that I was trying to, go a little faster. I could have elaborated on that, and thank you for doing that. I didn't know there will be this much of time. Yes, of course. There are some notions that people have that they think, okay, when they keep their stuff in the cloud, the privacy is no longer there and all of this. No, that is very wrong. You have you have your own privacy, and your data are always safe. And another thing we are saying, the beauty of it is that, like you said, which I really like, you said we now have access to resources that even big organizations can't have access to in the past. Yes, even as an individual, you can just sign up on the platform, put some resources. And the beauty of it is even that for people that are quite learning, you have a free tier, just that to some extent it will be limited. You have a free tier where you can, use some certain operating system, take some certain amount of CPU, some certain amount of storage, you put it up, install whatever applications you want to install on it, run it, and see how it works. It helps to even grow knowledge and to be able to understand more of what the service is all about. And I was saying about cost. Okay, take for an example, if you want to set all of this up in your own physical office or something, for an example, you know how much it's going to cost, even for a 1 terabyte storage space. And that is just one aspect. You have to, power your server every time. That's another aspect. You have to even buy the server itself, and you have to purchase the operating system. If you think about all of these costs, you really see that the cloud computing has brought a lot of advantages for us, a lot of them. And I know so many people in the world are taking advantage of it. And even to say at an individual level, GCP, like I was explaining earlier, they allow you to run your infrastructures on their current infrastructures. I don't know, for so many years that we've known about Google search. Has there ever been a downtime? So I'm trying to access Google search and it has not been available. I want to believe that will be a no. It is always available. So that is to tell you, even if you have your infrastructures on a platform like this, your resources will always be available. There wouldn't be a downtime, and it is just one of the advantages, because if you want to talk about having such resources, on the other hand, to be physical, there might be a lot of that time that you might not even be able to handle. Maybe the aspect of power, which is very important. So that is just it. And thank you, Jacob, for sharing your own view about it. And I don't know if there is any other person that would like to share his own view. Jacob has talked about the computing aspect. Maybe there's another aspect of the cloud computing that you have been utilizing and you will want to share how it is. Maybe you've also been experiencing some disaster, some things you feel disadvantage. You might want to share that too. So I don't know if anybody is up for that. Hello, the developers in the house. I'm very sure you guys have been using that. So to be well appreciated if you share your experience.
Okay. What are we waiting for? Developers. There are so many of them. You can just mention their name. Shay is here. Yeah.
Shay, can you share your experience with us?
Shay. Faith is here also. Faith. Hello, Faith. Good morning.
Yes. Hello, sir. Okay. Yes. It's actually been, um, more like a good way to ease, just like Jacob said, it helps those who are just, starting up, like, their IT firm or something. It helps them start up on like a low scale. And just like Jacob said, it's going to like help them manage all their files, like all that they want to do as regards computing, storage, and and server, like and every other thing, sure. Understand? So it's kind of been beneficial, really, because imagine a situation that you just developed, like an application, like a local server or something, then it's working, but then there is nowhere to put all your files that you just developed. There's no how you can show to someone that this is what you've done, like, this is what I've done, this is what I've done, and like, that would be kind of, disastrous. For example, if you are going to like apply for a job somewhere and they ask you what you've done, and they're all on a local server. No, no, no. They want to see exactly like live sites that that you've uploaded them to, places that you have, uploaded all your work to. Understand? So, that's why I find it, very, very, very beneficial, because you have temporary hosting sites where they can host all your files, and it's quite easy, and it's actually stress free, because some of them do give you up to like a year, 2 years, like that, even when you don't even pay for anything. So is that all?
All right, Faith. Yeah, thank you very much for that. Yeah, it's actually a plus, a beneficial aspect of the cloud computing. He has also talked about. We talked about the the ability to be able to, share your work, easy access to codes that you've written and all of that, which is also a very good aspect of the cloud computing and all. Thank you very much for that. And I think the alcohol, we have people that share their thoughts, and we've, we've been able to, share enlightenment and all of that. So it's over to you.
Okay, thank you very much Gugu, for the presentation. I don't know if Emmanuel would like to share. Emmanuel, I don't know if you're there.
Yeah, if I would like to share concerning
Experience, you have been boss here. People would like to hear from you.
is it my experience concerning the Google Cloud then?
Yes.
I haven't actually explored that deeply. So I don't think I have so much to share. But I'm currently working on dialog flow, which is something I also need the Google computing for. So dialog flow is provided by Google for conversation, to build intelligent conversations, and it's something I'm looking into. So, but I've not had so much experience with this. So,
All right. Thank you for the share. Thank you very much, everyone, for attending this morning session. It's almost time for Kelly, like about 8 minutes more. Okay. Since we have nothing more to offer, probably let me see if you have any question. Go ahead. Is there any more question?
Not from my end, I don't think there is.
All right. Does anybody have questions for you? Anything?
Hello. Hello,
Hi.
please. I want to. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah, we can
yes.
hear you.
The GCP as what it entails, because it all covers about a cloud platform. So, and Google is such a this and that virtually all of us here have made use of it, in the sense that it's not just only the infrastructure as a service. Well, there's also software as a service. The software as a service, the YouTube, the Gmail, the Google Drive, all of these ones are part of software as a service as well, and it's still under the GCP. And we have made use of Gmail and a lot of them, Google Drive and all that. So they're all still part of a cloud, part of the GCP. It's just that is under the software as a service, not infrastructure as a service or platform as a service. So even the software as a service, the YouTube will make use of it and all that. It's all part of the GCP services.
Okay, are you trying to tell
That
us
is
that,
what so virtually all of us, one way or the other, have made use of it.
okay, you're trying to tell us that so far we have Gmail and we have been storing something in our Google Drive and so on. We have YouTube channel, stuff like that, storing something on it.
Yes.
We are making use of GCP services.
Yes, you are making use of the services, their storage and all that.
Okay, it doesn't have to be that maybe we are creating something on Firebase or something.
No, not necessarily that only. But even the Firebase, there's also software as a there are also software as a service and all that. Because it's taking the software that we have on our system that we use to distribute mail and now take it to the cloud for everybody to now make use of. In that case, it becomes software as a service.
Oh, that means
so that is
here.
what.
Okay. Let's just ask somebody who is not a developer yet. Let me see someone here. Victor. Okay, just share your experience concerning your usage of yeah,
Sir?
share your experience concerning the usage of Google Cloud Service. Yeah.
Okay, I think the experience I had was, I think Google Photo.
I can't hear you. I didn't get that.
Does anybody know about Google?
Jacob mentioned that so far you have Gmail. So far you are uploading something on your Google Drive. You make it.
That's what I'm saying. Google Photo is like an email now. You need an email for the Google Photo. Does anybody know about Google Photo? When you upload your photo and
Okay, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
when my
Yes, of course.
that was 2017. The first Android I bought then. So I didn't even know I was using the Google Photo because my pictures were literally uploaded. So until I think that was 2019 when I was trying to access when I fully know about the way it functions. When I entered the app, I started seeing the pictures I've taken like years ago, and it was nice. So that's my yeah.
Right. Thank you for that. Thank you, people, for this morning session again. So, thank you for the detecting standards, and I expect everyone here to be present. Okay. Have a good day, everybody. Have a good day. Have a great time. It's weekend already.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.